Hamas and Islamic Jihad have released the bodies of 4 Israeli captives to the Red Cross. Among them are Shiri Bibas and her 2 children, who were 9 months old and 4 years old when they were taken during the October 7th attack in 2023, and Oded Lifshitz. The bodies will now be taken to a forensic institute for identification. Uri Dromi is the founding Director General of the Jerusalem Press Club, and he's joining us live from Thessaloniki in Greece. Mr. Dromi, thank you very much for your time. How do you see the first release of Israeli bodies in the wider context of the ceasefire and the war?
It's a very sad moment for us, not only for us Israelis, but everybody who hopes and believes in a reconciliation between Israelis and Palestinians. Because what we see here is a spectacle of death. This is what Hamas brings upon, not only upon Israelis, but upon its own people. Look at the destruction in Gaza caused as a response to the vicious October 7 attack. So we're talking here about Oded Lifshitz, who was a peace activist, all his life called for peace between Israelis and his neighbors, the people of Gaza. Here's Shiri Bibas, who lost her 2 parents who were killed in Nir Oz on October 7th, and then her 2 kids, Kfir being only 9-year-old. That's the pride of Hamas in the name of Islam.
But on that point, sorry to interrupt you, Mr. Dromi, but Hamas is saying that Shiri Bibas and the 2 children were killed in an Israeli airstrike. So how important is it that post-mortems are carried out on their bodies in Israel to know the cause of their deaths?
Okay, so we don't know the cause of the deaths, but definitely they were abducted and held under the ground by Hamas and put as a human shield. So we'll find out more about it. But you asked about the greater or the broader picture, and I think it really symbolizes or emphasizes the need to remove Hamas from the equation, because otherwise this cycle of death and destruction will go on. And I think we're looking ahead at the Arab Summit in Cairo next week, and my prediction is that Egypt and Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Emirates, Qatar will tell Hamas, you have done enough damage to the Palestinian cause and to the Arabs in general. Just see what President Trump came up with, this crazy plan to evacuate Gaza, to kick out all the people out of Gaza. So the only way for the Arab world to come up with an alternative to Trump's idea is to remove Hamas from Gaza, bringing a trusted Palestinian government, maybe a multi-Arab force to be deployed there, etc. Otherwise, Trump's idea is still valid, and I think it means disaster, more disaster to the people of Gaza.
Is it valid, or because earlier you said that Donald Trump's proposal is crazy? Is it valid or is it crazy? There are some that, in the Israeli right at least, that have spoken out in support of it. Is there support for Donald Trump's proposal in Israel?
And I deplore it, and I think all of us Israelis should, with all due respect, I didn't say Trump was crazy. His idea was crazy. Just look at what he said just now about the Ukraine, that Zelensky was the aggressor. I mean, we live in a Trump era where people here have to stand by their principles and even talk back and say truth to power, even if it's the American power. And I'm sure the Arab Summit, where the people of the region who know exactly what's going on here. It's not a real estate deal here. I mean, remove the people of Gaza, build a Riviera and make money, or go bankrupt. People with responsibility in the region and people who care about the future of the Palestinians in Gaza should come up with an alternative plan, and the only valid plan, feasible plan, is to remove Hamas from the equation, because Hamas means more death, more damage, more disaster for the Palestinians. They have caused enough trouble. They should be removed.
Uri Dromi, thank you for your perspective.
Thank you.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.